All right. Welcome back. We're going to tie a fly called Nick's Nightmare, steelhead pattern. Chase some salmon with it too, probably. Start my thread on the back side of the return. Trim that out. First, what we're going to tie in is some gold tinsel. This front part's going to be dubbing, so you don't need to be too careful with your thread wraps there. But as you work back, you want to make sure you just have nice thread wraps so that your tinsel lays flat. My daughter actually found this pattern in a book I have, and she wanted to tie it, and she tied this actually really well when she was only 5. So if she can do it, you can do it. Doesn't require a lot of material either. We're going to take this back, just inside the hook point. I'm just going to spend an extra second coming forward trying to fill in any valleys of thread I've got there. And I'll bring this up. That's about right. Now we can start bringing our tinsel forward. First wrap is usually the most difficult. I'll just kind of tie this in going forward. That'll do. And you want to protect that tinsel, so I usually just use some Sally Hansen's. I actually use the double duty, which is like a base coat. Hearted Nails is really good. But I got this for free, and I've had it for so long, I just use it, and it works great. So, something to be said about that Sally Hansen's. I'll just kind of give that a second to set up. Cool. Okay, so next we're just going to bring our thread back into our tinsel just a little bit. And next we need some orange dubbing. What I'm using here is excuse me, SLF standard hot orange. You could use really whatever you want. Nymph dub, rabbit, ice dub. Stuff's pretty slick. I want to wax that up real fast, and I set my wax somewhere. Here it is. All right. It's going to be a pretty beefy thorax here. Started twisting that too fast, and bring that up. Some people like their dubbing real spiky, shiny, all that stuff. It's up to you. You want to have a nice sized ball here for the prop. Of course, doing any kind of dubbing work and at this diameter can be a little tricky. That's good. Just want to make sure we don't have anything coming out forward too much. That'll work. Might get rid of some of that. All right, cool. Excuse me. Next, we're going to do a purple hackle for the collar. We're just going to tie this in soft hackle style. We want the length to be somewhere inside the throat. We're going to want a decent amount here. So let's kind of tie this in soft hackle style. And we'll trim out the tip. I'm going to leave both sides of this hackle in on this one. Start doubling it over. Lots of interesting methods on how people decide to double their hackle over. I've tried quite a few. I tend to kind of come back to just going for it. But, come right over the top. Like so. Tease this out to get the all the flow to the back the way you want it. Looks pretty good. Next we're going to do the underwing, and the underwing is actually just peacock crystal flash. It's kind of interesting. This in the book, this pattern says specifically 5 strands of crystal flash. So we'll get it pretty close. I think I'm just going to go 6 just because I can fold it over itself real easy, or I guess maybe 8 as it were. So I'm just going to fold that over, just kind of leave them in the loop. We can come in and pop the loop, or the loops I should say. Make sure this gets splayed out well. A couple more tight turns. And you can leave it, I guess, as long as you want. It's supposed to line up with about the bend. So as I come down, I'm just going to trim it all off, pretty much at the same length. Next for the wing, it calls for black Arctic fox, so that's what I'm going to use. But you can use bucktail, or you probably use some black dyed raccoon here, believe it or not. I think I need just a touch more. Sorry, it's just easier to work with this off camera than it is on camera. Once you do want to give it a quick comb. Black bear, you could use black bear too, that'd be a good one. Bucktail, black bear, raccoon, all the above. Normally I do an elevated pinch wrap on these. I'm actually back that off and do one. Seems to work a little bit better. That way you can seat it right where you want. Get it to flare the way you want. And kind of tie this down similar like you would deer hair or something. Putting a few reps coming through. Locking it down in numerous places. Pull that forward to get that wing to sit up a little bit. There we go. That'll work. Now for the fun part, finding where we put those thread reps and trimming this out at a taper. That's the way I do it. I've seen people that have, I think, to be a little bit better methods, to be honest with you, but sometimes it is what it is, you know. It's hard to learn every single method of every single tire, even though some work fantastic. Sometimes it just takes that practice. Okay, before I finish this all up, I'm going to glue all of that. So as I wrap forward, I'm going to be gluing all that hair down. That's pretty good. And just kind of bring this back up top. Get my black marker. Color my GSP. And go back to the glue. Crazy glue. I had somebody ask me the other day what I use. I'll show you real quick. I just use this here, the brush application crazy glue, super glue. It works really well for me. I know several people that have stopped using other glues and just started using that full time. It's relatively cheap. It works well. You know, that's kind of some key factors when you're tying. But everybody likes something different. Only downside is if you're not using black, it changes the ink on the Sharpies different colors. So for black, it works really well. Kind of back up there a little bit. Go one more round. And then at the end of this, I typically put a little UV resin on there. I just don't usually do it on the videos too often because it just takes all this extra time. It gets a nice smooth finish, nice professional look. Helps get water to flow around it and all that good stuff. So with all that glue on there, 3 turns is more than sufficient. So we'll let that dry, and I'll give it a coat of UV. So there you go, Nick's Nightmare. Drop me a line. Let me know what you think of this fly, and if there's something else you'd like to see tied, let me know. I'll try to help you out or accommodate you if I can. And as always, everybody, happy tying. Take care, and we'll see you next time.